everyone, this is your instructor Joy. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your nice questions, comments, and donations. So today I'm going to talk about things that I suggest and I do myself when I don't feel like practicing. It is true, we don't always feel like practicing. It's just the way it is because we're human beings and humans are just not perfect. So it's okay if you don't feel like practicing today or maybe even yesterday. Don't feel too bad about it, but you may want to try these ideas that I've tried myself. They tend to work very well. So first, understand that practicing, it doesn't always have to be many hours. It can be just 5-10 minutes or even 3 minutes. Or sometimes practicing does not mean always with a violin. You know, you might have read articles or books about Olympic athletes when they're badly injured. They cannot really train themselves, but they mentally practice in their head. And some of them achieve a really high level of success, gold medals and stuff. Same goes for us too. Mental practicing is as important as physical practice with the violin. Of course, practicing with an instrument is also important. And let's say you're trained, you know that you have to practice, you're getting to the deadline or close to your lesson time, whatever it is, but just your mood is not there. What I normally try is just give myself a short nap, a little power nap. Depends how much you time or where you're at. Sometimes I just sit on my couch I put a little alarm for 15 minutes, so or it's 20 minutes, sometimes just 5 minutes. Close my eyes, give myself a little nap. Sometimes I fall asleep or sometimes I don't, but even if you can't fall asleep, that's enough, that gives you enough energy. At least in my case, when I do that after 15 minutes nap or so, I feel myself a little more energetic and more easy to just do things, including practicing the violin. So you might want to try that. Let's say you're kind of person who cannot take a nap, then try to meditate. I mean, the word meditation sounds fancier than it is, which is also kind of new to me. I've been trying this meditation in the last 2 years or so. Basically what it is, you just sit very comfortable way and you breathe in and out very deeply and try not to think about anything. So that is very important. You want to give your brain a little break by not thinking anything particular. It's going to be very hard, trust me. So when your mind starts wandering, you have to bring it back to the nothingness. So that's how you get proper rest. It is also scientifically proven that people who meditate have higher concentration, longer lifespan, and just can be more productive. So you might want to try that. And I find myself sometimes when I don't feel like practicing and I'm not even realizing it, but I start doing other things, you know, like I have so many emails to answer, I have to do this and this and that, so I don't have time to practice. And often I realize I'm just kind of finding other things to do so that I don't practice, which happens. So, because sometimes we enjoy practicing, sometimes it's not as fun. So acknowledging that, it for me was very helpful, just saying, okay, wait, why am I doing all this work? Why am I doing the other things while I actually have things to practice? So if you have many other things to do, I'm sure you do, we all do. If you have 12 to-do things for the today, and what I suggest is do your violin practicing first and do other things. Again, the violin practicing doesn't have to be 3-5 hours. It can be just 5-10, 1 hour, whichever it allows you to do other important to do things to do. Then let's say you skip too many days over practicing, and then you're just not getting enough time to even sit down, then try not to practice too much, but make a small practicing session. Remember, it's not about how long each session is, but it's rather frequency. So more frequently you practice, the more often you exercise with your muscle and your brain while practicing. That is much more effective than you did nothing and once a week you do 5 hours straight. Even though that's still better than nothing. So it's better 10 minutes every day or 30 minutes every day than just one big chunk once a week or once every 2 weeks, something like that. I understand that can be quite difficult sometimes, but if you can just find, let's say, okay, I'm busy, can I give 10 minutes myself? And I think, I mean, there are sometimes exceptions, but most of us can find somehow 10-15 minutes. Can be morning, evening, before going to work, or as soon as you come home, after a little rest you do it. Whatever time you can find 15 minutes, organize your practices. So I'm gonna do 5 minutes of left hand exercise, maybe 5 minutes of specific difficult passages, and 5 minutes just play through and a little fun, something like that. Yeah. Then let's see, when you are really tired, sometimes not to just skip, be brave to skip a day or two. I'm trying to say resting is as important as practicing. Let's say your body's just exhausted, you're just fighting a cold, or just body doesn't feel right. Probably there's a reason why your body is such a condition. So try to listen to your body and respect. Giving a good rest can be also very helpful in next session of practicing. So if you feel overly tired and you already took a nap 15 minutes and you've tried, still not working, can't get go, then just skip a day, it's okay. Then you will see if you, after resting well, you can also practice very productively. And let's say you just don't have access to your violin. You're on a tour, business trip, or you're just in the office, whatever it is, just you're not being able to access to your violin. Then practice like big masters do. Like Henry Sharing was saying, I practice all day. And he was touring a lot. He was always on the way to somewhere, and spending a lot of time in the airplane and the train and so on. And then a reporter asked him, Maestro, but when do you ever get to play? Well, I get access to play violin maybe just once every 2 days, 1 or 2 hours if I can, or less. But in my head, I'm always practicing. So what you do is you can actually, like an air, without violin, just kind of guess at what you're doing. So you think about specific passage. Do I have to adjust my arm and kind of fingering, and what kind of sound I want to have it when I play like this. It's kind of you're imagining yourself practicing that part, and that can be also quite helpful. And also what you can do is other important part of violin practicing, which is listening to the great recordings. So which often gets dismissed, unfortunately. You could, when you are showering or cooking breakfast, or just waiting in your doctor's office, or whatever, when you have a little time to sit down, or even in your car or the subway, wherever you are, see if you can listen to good players. It doesn't always have to be the recording that you're currently studying, which is also a good idea, but see if you can listen to great players, great professional players. There are a number of great players. I personally like to listen specific orchestra, specific pianists, specific violinists, but you can find your own favorite violinist or any other musicians. There's always something to learn from other great musicians as well, a lot of great pianists, great conductors. Whichever great musician you want to just educate yourself and understand how to phrase, what kind of sound it works, when it sounds well, what do they do differently, and so on. So you can use time like that with that violin, but you're still practicing. And let's say you've tried it a little. You are going to practice only 5 minutes, but once you start playing, which happens a lot with me, I didn't feel like practicing, but once I start practicing, I'm realizing, oh, I'm actually having fun, and I'm often practice longer than I actually initially thought I would. And I hope that works with you too. But let's say, even when you did just 5 minutes as planned, then be nice to yourself. Reward yourself for being strong, for doing your practice. So give yourself a little treat. It can be a simple piece of cake, or I don't know, just fun time, 15 minutes, or go out, whatever it is. Just like children appreciate when they get rewarded and when they do right, and they want to repeat that. Therefore, even with us, with adults, it works well, at least with me. So when you were strong enough and you made yourself practice, regardless of the amount, and you made some kind of improvement compared to the past, then treat yourself for something nice, so that you next time when you try, back of your mind, okay, after this one, I'm gonna treat myself something so and so, yeah. And then like that, when you do that enough times, you will have certain practicing routine built in your system, and you might reach the point where you love practicing, and I hope you get to experience that. I hope this video was helpful. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your nice comments, questions. I hope to see you again. Please remember to subscribe and share my videos. Bye-bye.